Okay, so welcome to our very first class. So it is QuickBooks, and
Okay.
it is a popular accounting software developed by Intuit and widely used by a lot of businesses of all sizes to manage their financial transactions. You can also use it. They also use it rather to track their expenses and also to
Okay.
perform various other accounting tasks. Accounting, there are a lot of tasks. So in this lesson, we'll cover the basics of QuickBooks. And the purpose is to get you acquainted with its features, because there are key features and there are functionalities which you're expected to understand. And apart from that, there is the basic foundation of using QuickBooks. So I'm going to put you through that, because if you don't get that foundation right, it's going to affect your postings. It's going to affect all you'll be doing here. Of course, you know that the endpoint of every process here, both in all accounting process, is reporting. So at the end of the day, you are looking forward to being able to run your reports. So all that begins with this basic foundation, which is very important. So
Okay.
first and foremost, you've been able to install it. So that's a good one. You've been able to install it. You've been able to launch it. So once you have launched it, by launching, it means to open the QuickBooks file, which you've already created. So once you have done that, this becomes the first screen you will see. Now, I understand you showed me a particular screen. I will take you there. Yes, I will take you there. Now, this is what happened. Yes, this is what happens now. So things you know we are trying to see how we'll look into is how to navigate around the QuickBooks interface. By that, you being able to familiarize yourself with the QuickBooks interface. So I'm going to put you through that. I'm also going to put you through being able to set up what we call company preferences. Now, you must know that in every application, there is what we call settings. You must be able to, maybe you want to perform some settings. So in QuickBooks, when you want to manage settings or perform settings, you use what we call the preference. So you must be able to set up the application as per the requirements of that type of organization. Organization differs based on their nature and other things to also differentiate them. For example, an agricultural company, the accounting process will be different from a construction company. So these are some things. So for you to be able to set it up to that specific type of firm, okay, the type of company, we use what we call the preference. So it's important. Then the basic information I talked about that you also need to know is what we call the chart of accounts. So you must be able to manage.
Chart of accounts?
Yes, chart of accounts. So you must be able to manage the chart of accounts. So I will tell you more about that when we get there. It's a concept called the concept of the chart of accounts. It's just all about you being able to, it's a concept which categorizes or organizes your company's financial transactions. And that's the main essence of using the system, is the financial transactions, for you to be able to organize them, categorize them. That's the main essence of using the system. So that becomes the basic foundation. You must be able to do that first. And you must be able to create, modify accounts in QuickBooks accurately to reflect your business financial structure. Hope we are good. So it's after that you then look at how do you enter transactions. And like I said, depending on the type of business, their transactions also sometimes differs. A hospital, for example, a health firm, their kind of transactions will also differ. So these are things you must know how to do before moving forward to reconciliation and all that. So as you progress, I just want you to know that today's class is just like an introduction, because as you progress, you will delve deeper into each topic and also explore more advanced features and functionalities. All right. So in QuickBooks, the first thing you're going to do is to create what we call a company file.
To create a company file?
Yes, a company file. Now, that screen you are there
Okay.
because you will get there
Yes.
after you have clicked this button. Can you see this button that says create a new company?
The one I have is create a new company file based on an existing one.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I am just saying that it's if I click here, I will get
Okay.
to that screen. I will get to that screen which you sent to me. Or that's
Oh,
very. Can you see now?
yeah.
Are we on the same
Yes,
page?
yes. Yeah, we're on
Okay.
the same page right
So
now.
if you want to go back, look on that very screen by your right hand side. You'll see an X symbol there that says close.
Oh, can you
So
give me
if you
one second?
click on,
'Cause my laptop is not showing that.
okay, okay, all right. So there's no problem with that.
Okay.
So the thing to take note of is that the first thing you have to do is to create a new company file. Now, what is a company file? A company file is just that record that is going to where you're going to store all the financial records of that company. So at that point, you're now considering the whole system, not just as a book where you keep your records, but at this point, it becomes an electronic book because
Okay.
everything, you're no longer going to be doing your manual entries anymore. Everything are now going to be entered and maintained in this file. And one good thing about it is that it is transferable. For example, the company we are going to use, the example we are going to treat, we are going to start with a construction company. And
Okay.
let's assume that the construction company is an international construction company, which by that it has branches. Okay, let's say it has branches in Canada, it has a branch in Nigeria, it has a branch in the US and also in the UK. Okay,
Okay.
so at that point, you can use QuickBooks. This kind of firm can use QuickBooks because at the end of the day, if they have auditors or they want to do their year-end financial statement and all that, what they are going to request from you as the accountant in one of the locations is to do what? To transfer this file to them.
Oh, okay.
So the file is transferable. You can transfer it from system to system, and that has to do with you ensuring that you have a proper storage. Either you want to use an external drive for your file in terms of saving it, and also the process of backing it up since it's the desktop version. So that brings us to the desktop and the online version. Now, the thing is this,
Okay.
if you are able to use the desktop, you should be able to use the online because the difference between the desktop and the online is just internet and the little changes in the interface. So if you can use this, you can use that one. And another difference by using internet is that for the desktop, all your files are stored on this file you've created here on this very system. So if
Okay.
anything happens to the system, you lose the file, except you back up your file regularly on cloud, then you won't lose your file. So these are things that
Okay.
most firms already have provision for that. So your duty is just to know how to use it.
Okay. I'm okay.
So the first thing is to create a company file. Now, after you yourself have created a file, you will notice that
Okay.
the next time you open QuickBooks, you will see this window come up. The reason why this window is coming up is because I have an existing company file already that I
Oh,
created.
okay.
You can see it, iTech
Yeah.
Nigeria Limited. So I'm not a new user. I'm already an existing user.
Okay.
Yes, that's why. You can see it here. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how do you delete a company file. It's important. Now, for example, this ITEL, I don't need it. Okay, maybe it's a company file that I do not need. How do I delete it? To delete it, you will see this edit list under open
Okay.
feature. You click on edit list. You see it brings a new window. On this new window, you will see all the company files you have. So if there is anyone you don't want to keep, all you have to do is to tick on it. Just click on it. It's going to bring
Okay.
this back. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. I said you just have to click on it, more like I'm selecting that particular file from the list. Then you select OK.
Okay.
That's all. So can you see it's now clear?
Yeah, it's empty right now.
So if I was saying I want to close my QuickBooks and go back to open it, trust me, you won't see this. It's going to pop up
Okay.
that very screen you saw. Because at that point, QuickBooks believes that I am a new user. Open on the same page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the first thing you're going to do, like I said, is to create a company file. Now, one thing is to create a company file. Another thing is to open or restore a company file you've created before. So let's say you have a particular system you were using before, your QuickBooks was in there, and you use that for your QuickBooks right there. Then along the line, the company gave you a new system or you changed your system. So
Okay.
it's not good for you to start afresh. Okay. Like I
Okay.
said, the file is transferable. So how do you open a file that has been transferred to you or an existing file? Maybe you change system. You're going to use this option called open or restore. I'm going to show
And
you
there's a
that option.
second.
Yes. I'm going to show you the option. It's also within QuickBooks, the file menu. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can still use it from the file menu to open such file. So I'm just trying to
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so to create your company file, you're going to tick this option that says create a new company. It brings you here. So if you're already here, you're good to go. Now, the next thing you're
Okay.
going to do in QuickBooks, you create your company file using two methods. One, either you're using the Express Start method or you're using the Detail Start method. They all
What
have
is?
same goal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. They all have the same goal.
Yes, same goal.
So
The goal is
there's no difference between using the express start and the distilled start.
there is difference in terms of
Okay.
the processes you will pass through, but the end point, the end result is to create your
It's
file
the
for you.
same. Okay.
Yes, I will show you. Now, the detail start is also called the easy step interview. Easy step interview. In the US,
Okay.
in Canada, that's the word they call it. Easy step interview.
Easy
Okay.
step interview.
Yes, easy step interview. Now, the difference between both of them is that this detail start has a long process. You know, when you go for an interview, they ask you a lot of questions, and the more you tell them, maybe they ask you, where are you from? You say you're from
Yeah.
Nigeria. The next question, which state? You understand? The more you
Yeah.
talk about, the thing keeps expanding. That's how this easy step works. But
Okay.
Express Start is straightforward. On one page, for example, if I'm clicking on Express Start, can you see this? Can you see this new page?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, good. This is the page you will fill all information and create your company file only on this
And
page,
all at once.
all at once. But now let's go over to the easy step interview, page 1. Can you see under we have two tabs? That one says back, the other one says next. Now, if you look,
My 1 second, please. My what's it called? My screen is not navigated.
what's your screen showing? Where did you click on?
I click on the express start.
Okay, what did it show you?
Glad you're here. Tell us about your business. Then my screen is not moving. Like I can't navigate around just to go to the next step or so.
Okay, like to go back. Is it like to go back?
To go back or to go front, up and down. Like it has been like that since yesterday.
Okay. Can we do this? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So I will make you the host. So you try to share your screen. Let me see.
Don't worry. I'll send you a picture, or I can even do a video for you
Okay. Okay. Maybe let's just
because
let's
I'm
see.
using another phone for the class, and I'm using my laptop.
So can we continue?
Yes, can you just give me a second? Let me restart my laptop because I cannot navigate at all.
Okay, restart it. I think once you restart it, it will work perfectly. So let me give you some minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Continue. Okay. So from where we stopped, I was saying that if you
Can you
have,
go back a little bit?
okay,
How did we get there?
okay, let me close this.
Okay.
So this, all right. So
Yeah.
at this point, okay, I believe you can see this new screen that is showing Express Stats.
Yes.
Okay. I was saying that there are two methods,
Yeah,
Express
the
Stat,
expressive and the detail start. And he
the
said the
details.
difference between the two is that the detail start is a long process. Like it's also
Yes.
known as the easy steps. Okay. Then we click on
Yes.
the express start, right? That was where I got lost.
Okay. So I said for the Express Stats, once you click on it, it brings you here. That is straightforward, one page.
Yes.
So you are to fill in all this information, then you create your company file, because if you look in below, you'll see where we have back, the tab for back. We also have that for preview your settings, and we then have create company. So you
Okay.
can, it's straightforward. So if we want to go back, I believe at this point you are seeing that close button, right? To
Yeah,
close this.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you close that button and I click on my create company, it brings me here. So if we
Okay.
go to check that of detailed stats, you can see what I'm talking about.
Yes, we have the same screen right now.
Okay. Now we have interview progress.
Okay.
So the more you fill in the this progress bar will be, will be reading till it gets to the
Okay.
end. So that's just what I was saying. For instance, if we want to put name of this company, so let's say it's
Okay.
an international construction firm called, let's say it's called Joy Constructions. Okay. Legal
Okay.
name, can still copy and paste same legal name.
Okay.
Then the tax ID, more like the TIN. Okay. So
Okay.
the tax ID of the company. So I don't know what you call it over there. Yes, the
We
tax
call it social security number, I guess.
social security number. Perfect.
Yeah,
So one
SSN,
SFN.
SIN, I guess. I'm not sure.
Okay. Now one good thing about QuickBooks is that it's a US software. Okay.
Okay.
And you know that that continent over there is America, and Canada is also part of them. Okay. So it's also over there too. So the good
Okay.
thing, the system is already designed to be used even in Canada. Okay, it's designed. For example, when we get to a country, you won't see any Nigeria there. There's no Nigeria country there.
So we
What we
have to
use,
choose order.
Yes, we choose order. So, but
Okay.
for your country, for Canada is there. You select
Yeah.
Canada. Okay. So the states, you then choose the states. You're the one that know the states in Canada. I don't know which
SK.
state. What did you say?
I said SK, Saskatchewan.
Okay, SK. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to type in SK. So let me see. Is it KS?
SK.
SK.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why it's showing KS.
Yes, I think that's the one showing KS. So let's just leave that one. All right. So
Okay.
you also provide the phone number, if there's a fax number, if there's an email address, a website, the street
Okay.
address, you provide
So
all that.
I'll just input all the information manually, one by one.
Yes, you're going to do that. Now, it also depends if you want to do it now or later. I will show you how to do it later by what we call
Okay.
changing company information. Of course, it's important. There are situations whereby your firm might have a new website or a new email address. So you must be able to edit this company information. Okay.
Okay.
It's part of the setup process. And one thing you need to know, as part of the basic information I talked about, is setup. The other name for that is setup, because you must be able
Okay.
to set up the QuickBooks application as per the requirements of the organization. So you must know how to set it up. If you get the setup wrong, it's going to affect it. And that's what I was referring to as the basic information. Okay.
Okay.
Moving by that. Now, once you fill all this and you're coming here to say next, okay, you say next, you can see the bar reads, right? The bar reads interview progress bar. You can see a green.
Yes.
It took
Yes.
us to a new page. Okay. So what I was trying to point out is that the best method is that of the express start. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because
It's
it makes no
straightforward.
changes. It's straightforward. It makes no
Okay.
changes to what you're doing. This very one makes no changes. Same way you're going to, select the industry of the business. The same way you do over there in the Express Start. So the Express Start
Okay.
combines everything in one page, unlike the detailed start or the easy step interview, which expands it. Okay. It's just
Okay.
like
Yeah.
what we call the expanse and collapse method. For example, by the time we get to reporting aspect, we have two methods of viewing your report. We have the expand and we have the collapse. When we get there, you'll see it because it gives you a more detailed, we have the reports viewing that gives you a more detailed breakdown. For example, if we have expenses like repairs and maintenance expense, okay, or bond
Okay.
expense, because for construction company, there is an expense called bond expense, which you're also going to record because most times, like I was saying, another thing I need to point out is that it's you're expected to understand the various accounting processes for
Each
different
industries.
yes, each industries is very important. Like things like bonds expenses, for example, projects might not be required in some other industries, but for the construction company, projects it's mandatory because what's a construction company? There are companies that handles construction projects, okay, in form of
Yeah.
contract for businesses and so on, for government,
Governments. Yeah.
and so on. So projects is very important, and these are things you must set up. You must set up the different project locations. They might have a particular project, maybe they are handling a road construction in a particular city. They also have another road construction ongoing in another city. They have a building construction. So you can see that these are different location. And that also
Yeah.
brings us what we call locations here in QuickBooks. One thing about QuickBooks, it has different features which you can use. Okay, we have the feature called class feature. You can use that to keep track of all those various projects that are in different locations. So we'll get to see all
Okay.
that. And that leads us to the aspect of job costing, because we cannot talk about construction companies without talking about job costing.
Job
So it's
posting. Yeah.
okay. So moving by that, you now understand these processes, right? So
Yes.
let's go to use the that of the express start. Later on, you can go through this. It's something you can still feel in. So I'm going to
Okay.
close. I'm just going to close. I'll say, okay, leave, create a company, Express Start. Now, before I click Express Start, I don't want us to skip any feature here. Okay.
Okay.
So if you look here, you'll see we have two other features. They are not just
Yeah.
here. Empty. They also serve purpose.
A
They are useful.
purpose.
Yes. So we have the crate. Now, let's say, for example, you previously worked in a company that is a construction company. You
Okay.
then left that firm and got employed in another construction company in the same similar industry. So
Okay.
whenever you are working for companies in similar industry, which you know definitely that it's same tax you did in the previous place, you also do here. So when you want to use QuickBooks, you don't have to create a new file. Okay. All you have to do,
Okay.
provided you have the previous file with you, of course you will have it. It's just like having Excel records, templates, and so on for places you've worked before, your tax template and so on. So you will definitely
Okay.
have this one with you. So at that point, you don't need to create it again because creating it from scratch demands that you structure your accounts and do a lot of setup that I talked about. So if at that point, to shorten your tax, all you have to do is to use this option that says create. Here you're
Oh,
going to create this file based on an existing one. So what it does, if I'm to click this, it's going to ask me, where is that very file that I want to create a new one based on that same type of structure? Do you understand?
okay.
So I'm going to browse it out from where I saved it. Then I will then go ahead and put my company, the new company I'm working on, just the name. So what it's going to do, it's not going to keep the transactions for the old one. It's only going to copy
The
the,
templates.
the template. Thank you very much. So you understand. So I'm just going to click create company after entering the name, and that's all. I'll just move straight
Okay.
and get to see the template. So it's more like what it does is just to give you that template, the template you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So then for this one we call it conversion. We use it to convert. You know, you'll be using Sage 50. So some companies use this other accounting application. So with this feature, you're able to convert from a particular file to another. For example, a file that you worked on with Sage, you
Okay.
can
So I
use
can bring it to QuickBooks.
yes, using this feature.
Okay.
It converts data from other accounting software. So you have to
Okay.
click on other options. You come down and what do? You can see convert other accounting software data and I'll be able to go and search for it. Are you with me? So that's
Yes.
what we use that option for. So let's go straight to create our company file. So I'm going to come over to Express Start. So we say business name, we say Joy Construction. Industry. Now, remember I talked about the chart of accounts. That the chart of accounts,
Yes.
okay, what's the chart of accounts? The chart of accounts is just an organized list of all accounts that you, as an accountant, you are to prepare for a company.
Okay.
That's what the chart of accounts is. A list of all those accounts. Now, the chart of accounts, like I said, differs based on the type of industry. So here in
Yes.
QuickBooks operates the back end. You know, we have back end and front end in software. What you're seeing here is the front end. Same way we have different type of users. We have the end users. We seeing this now, okay, using it. So now what I'm trying to say is that at the back end, there's a way the system is configured. Now, everything about the system, QuickBooks system from the back end is channeled based on the industry. So it receives
Okay.
flow. It is able to read. It is able to read. It's able to read the algorithm and prepares everything for you based on the industry you have selected. So it therefore means that one of the important things here when you're trying to set up is industry. Are you with me? Because if you don't put the industry, you cannot create your company. If you like, go
Yeah.
and fill in all other information. You cannot create your company because the industry is what enables QuickBooks to know what kind of accounts you want to create. So QuickBooks, let me say it. So QuickBooks, even as you've entered Joy Construction Limited, QuickBooks is not aware. Are you with me?
Yes.
QuickBooks is not aware of Joy Construction. QuickBooks doesn't know what is Joy Construction. It
Construction
doesn't know. It doesn't know. We know that this Joy Construction is a construction company, but to
company.
QuickBooks, it doesn't know that this is a construction company. If you ask QuickBooks, it doesn't even know what you have entered. Are you
Okay.
with me? What it knows is the industry. That's what it uses to know what you're working on in the software.
Okay.
So that's why
So
industry.
if I put a wrong industry for a particular company, so everything is going to be totally wrong.
You said everything is going to.
If I assuming for this joint construction company, so for the industry, in case if I put mining, all the old data is going to be wrong, right?
Yes. Imagine you going to select mining, or you select governmental agency, or you went and selected a religious organization, whereas the business name is
It's
Joy
construction
Construction. So QuickBooks is going to take it as a religious organization.
instead of a construction company.
You can see why I said if you get the setup wrong, it's going to affect every other thing.
Yeah.
Same way, by the time we are creating the chart of accounts, those accounts you need, same way you're going to also notice another aspect too, because when you're creating your accounts, we also have what we call account type, which could be an asset account because it's important. Okay. Now, if for example, you selected account type as assets and you're now putting account name loan. So
That's
QuickBooks,
liability.
good. Now, so QuickBooks sees that account as an asset account. Why? Because of that account type you selected. So I will be
Because of
showing you
the account classification I selected.
you selected. So those
Yeah.
things are the key features QuickBooks uses to read. Okay, that's what it uses to be able to read this data you're entering. So it's important you take note of them to avoid some errors. All right. So for industry, there are a lot of industries. Any type of industry you're looking for is here. For example, governmental, you use governmental. NGO, you use NGO. If you say non, you can see non-profits. Whatever you're
Non-profit.
looking for, religious is there. Agriculture, it is there. So everything are there, okay, for you. We said construction. I'm just going to select construction. So the construction, we are going to select general contractor, okay. Now, business type, is it a sole proprietorship business, a partnership, a corporation? Is it or any other? You select it here. Are you with me? So we can say sole proprietorship. Since maybe it's a one-man business. The EIN is same thing as your social security number over here. Yes. Here, our tax identification number. So I can just put yes, TIN. So a business address and other information is maintained for the country. I'm just going to use our Canada. Yeah. I'm just going to use Canada for you. And also over here. Okay, we have KS. You said KS? SK. Okay. So the phone number also. Now, before we create this company file, there is something I always tell my students to do. Okay. Remember, I said that let me even say it, that the backbone of every accounting software, okay, including QuickBooks, the backbone of QuickBooks or every accounting software is what we call the chart of accounts. The chart of accounts.
The chart of accounts.
Because it is the chart of account that govern how all your entries are going to be organized or maintained.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So for that reason, I don't encourage accountants to go ahead and click create company. No. Do you know why?
Okay. Why?
The reason is because the moment you selected the industry, QuickBooks went ahead and created accounts for you, unknowing to you.
Okay.
For example, if I click create company now, if we go to the QuickBooks system, you'll be seeing accounts for construction company. You'll be seeing all those accounts listed. Whereas on your own, you never created them. And most times it usually, confuse those who uses it. They will be like, where's this account coming from? Where's this account coming from? Though
Yeah, that's true.
you can modify it, okay, but I always advise that you don't skip any account you know you will not use. Instead, go and disable all the accounts which QuickBooks have created by default. Disable it.
How are we going to disable
Okay.
those accounts?
To disable it, instead of
Okay.
clicking create company,
Okay.
first of all, click on preview your settings. Are you with me?
Oh, okay.
Preview the setup. Now, this preview is important for some reasons. One, under this preview, you can set up the location where you want this file to be saved. Remember, I told you it's transferable, so you must know where it is saved. Okay, so I'm going to click preview my settings, and you can also disable those accounts QuickBooks have created. Now, this is the settings window. You can see features selected, chart of accounts, company file location. So ignore these features selected. These ones are just some features. It believes that for a construction company, these features are important. Okay. So I will still show you how to disable them from the preference section. So ignore that. Okay. So then come to company file location. You can change the location so that whenever your boss asks you, can you send me the record? You can easily go to the location and copy it. So for this, it's under my C drive, users, public, documents, Intuit, QuickBooks, company file. So I can say these two long sort of address, because if I want to copy this file someday, it therefore demands that I go to C drive, then go to users, out of the list, go to public, and so on. So why don't I change it? You can change location and then select desktop, okay, making it an easier access for me. And I say, okay, I want this to be stored in my desktop directly. You understand? So depending on where you want to store that information, you can do that. For example, some companies, when we go to set up these systems, we oftentimes request that because we set up demands in two aspects. We have the local area network, the LAN, and most times if they have a strong Wi-Fi, okay, we can also help them set it up perfectly. So they could also have an external storage device, which you could use as your location.
Okay.
Yes. So that's just for location and all that. But the important aspect here, why we came here, is the chart of accounts. And like I said, that chart of accounts is an organized list of all the accounts in a business entity's financial record. What is an account? An account is just where a financial transaction is classified, allocated, or posted here in QuickBooks. So they are all terms that mean same thing. Okay. So it's important that you take note of these things, because it's this chart of accounts you're seeing here that will govern how every transaction that firm or you want to record. Is the chart of account that governs it. It is the chart of account that determines what information the management of the company is going to view to make important decisions. It is also this chart of account that is going to support the government regulatory and tax filings. Of course, you'll be filing your tax, and it's still the chart of account that is going to do what? Support those government regulatory. It's also the chart of account that is going to organize information for presentation. Maybe your company wants to, carry out some presentation to bankers, to creditors, to auditors, and so on. Is you still need the chart of account. Okay, so it should be thought out carefully, because once you develop it, it could make things difficult on the long run. Okay. So disabling it, see them here. construction income. These are, you still need them. You still need them. Sometimes what I tell some accountants to do is this. You look at them yourself. If anyone you know you need, you leave it ticked. The one you know you don't need, maybe blueprint and reproduction. This is our company. Are you sure we need it? We don't, and tick it. Are you with me? But
Okay.
in order not
Can
to
I
do
ask you a
that,
question?
okay, you can go on.
Now, for example, for the blueprints and reproduction that you just did one, maybe in the long run, after operating, I mean, after, okay, assuming I will start using the software, or later on, you now realize, okay, you actually need the blueprints and reproduction. Is there a way to go back and add it?
Okay. Now, remember, we want to disable all the accounts, right?
Yeah.
Good. If we're disabling it, how do you now put your own account? It's by creating. So whenever you need accounts, you create your accounts.
Okay, so I can add and remove at the same time.
You can. You can even make an account inactive. If, for example, we maintained all these accounts and you say for a reason, you just want to make them inactive for the meantime, then anytime you need it, you just go and right click and make it active. You will do all that. You understand?
Okay.
But since you're an accountant, you're experienced, you know the books you need to maintain, it's expected. Since you know your job, why don't you just disable everything by clicking on this box close to account name, tick it, so you everything, then you tick untick. You have unticked everything to save time. Okay. Okay, so that you create it. Now, the secret to creating your chart of accounts is the account type. Are you with me? An example, when we are talking about the chart of accounts, it has to do with the 5 ingredients of a financial statement. I will use the word ingredients. Some persons use the word elements. What are these ingredients elements? We know there are 5. We have assets, we have liability, we have equity, we have expenses,
revenue.
we have revenue. Okay, good. Yeah. Now, you know that if we are looking at these financial statements that are important to a firm, definitely we'll look at the aspect of the financial performance. You know, we need income, we need that of expense. Together. Okay. Yes. You see, 2 is now out of the 5. Now we'll talk about statement of financial position, the balance sheet. We need the other 3. So it therefore means that for every firm, every organization you're using QuickBooks for, every firm must have an asset account. What is an asset account? An asset account is going to represent the value of what the business owns, including cash, inventory, fixed assets, and other things. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. So every business must have an asset account. Every business must also have a liability account. What's a liability account? It's that account that represents what you owe, what the business owes to
obligations.
Yes, outside the business, including loans, employee wages earned but not yet paid, and so on. Okay. So every organizations must also have an equity account. What's an equity account? It's an account that records how much money is invested in the business. It could include profits that have not been distributed. Equity, can also be thought to be like the of a business. For example, we can even look at drawings as an equity account because, drawings is also what the business owns. Where a business owner takes money from the business, it must be accounted for because it's also part of that. Are you with me? So equity can be thought also as the net worth of the business, which is different in different cases too. So you must know that those 5 elements are what the chart of accounts imbibes on. So I try to clarify this because the type, so you won't say blueprints and reproduction. You should know the accounts categories that I've mentioned, that every account you're creating for a business falls under those categories.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It goes with the income because every business must also have an income account, and that one revenue. You can call it income, or I prefer revenue. So you know that revenue account record amounts earned by the business. Same way goes with your expense account, which record amounts spent on the business activities, and it's not going to include any withdrawals. It's not going to include dividends or distribution to owners or shareholders. So it's important that you know that all accounts for the business must be one of these 5 basic types. There are no exceptions.
Okay.
There are no exceptions. So whether whatever the accounting equation you might be going with, either asset liability, whatever, you must know. You must know, because this is just an accountant's way of ensuring that the whole aspect is properly structured. Are you with me? So because of time, we are just going to create the company file. Then in our next class, we'll then begin with our examples. Are we good?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So since I've unticked them, I'm going to click OK. Okay. So then I will then come and click on Create Company.
Okay.
So I'm going to wait. You can see it loading up. I'm going to wait for it to load up. So it's going to take me directly to the QuickBooks environment. So I believe at this point you've been able to, you can, in terms of getting started, okay, creating your company file is this, simplified for you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right, here we go for Joy Construction Limited. Okay, so this window pops up for you. Close it. There's a close button on this very window. You can see me moving the window. This very one.
Yes.
Yeah, so just close it. So once you close it, then the main environment and the main homepage comes up. So this is it. This is the QuickBooks main environment. So welcome to QuickBooks.
Okay.
Okay, so now you see a lot of windows will be popping up because it's your first time, and not only that, I'm going to show you how to disable it so that windows don't pop up since you're connected online. So just close them since you created a new company file. And to disable it, I normally don't do shortcut switching. Okay, I just don't want them to pop up. So quick one, to disable it, go to where we have view on the menu bar. You see that what is ticked is multiple windows. Are you with me? Multiple windows is ticked. Change it to one window. Change it to one window. So that we don't have multiple windows.
Change it to, sorry.
To one window, so that we don't have multiple windows. Yes, so we don't have multiple windows. All right. So to round up, this is QuickBooks environment, and divided into sections. We have what we call the home page. Now this is the home page. You can call it the canvas section. Okay.
Canvas.
So this
Okay.
is the home page. You can see it. And one thing you need to know is that the QuickBooks homepage is divided into 5 centers. And QuickBooks believes that every organization is made up of these 5 centers. For example, we have the vendor center. Can you see where we have vendor?
Yes.
Okay. We have the customer center. It believes that every organization have category of persons they do business with called vendors.
Yeah.
Now, next,
The suppliers.
the suppliers. Now, who are vendors? There's a simple term we normally use. Vendors are just those the business pay money.
Yeah. Okay.
Who are not the employees. The business pays them money. They are not the employees. So anybody, any organization, just categorize them as vendors, set them up as vendors. For example, you're the tax authority. The tax authority in QuickBooks, that's one thing about an accounting software. You have to go with their terminologies that they provide. Are you with me? Yeah. For example, the class feature I told you about, you use it for locations. So you can think class. Does class have, is class same thing with location? Of course, no. If in terms of departmental and allied accounting, you can also use class feature for the different departments within your organization. So these are different things you can use. So in our next class, we're going to continue from here. So just take down these things: the vendor center, the customer center, the employees, the company center, the banking center. Then we have the
Okay.
menu bar. It contains what we call tools. These are all the tools you'll be using to perform your tax. Tools.
Okay.
Then this left part, we call this the icon bar. They contain shortcuts. You can move it to the top using view. If I come to view and click top icon bar, it takes it to the top. So I
So,
recommend this, yes, to have a full screen from view menu.
okay.
So this is where we're going to round up. So I want to thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for today.
Yes, I want to thank you. So I will send you the recorded video so you
Okay.
practice. In our next class, we'll continue from here using
Okay.
okay. So thank you very much. Good
You're
night.
welcome. Good night. Bye.